Today your job in tutorial is to use the green credit check sheet that you started last week in your curriculum guide to pick the classes that you want to take next year. You might refer back to your transcript here and there to double check what you have done and what you need to do, but you probably won't need that a lot today. Remember, if you see anything that you think is a mistake anywhere in your transcript, anything misspelled or wrong address, or some class didn't show up that you thought should, or you have 8th grade classes listed that shouldn't be on there, circle them or make a note and give that back to your tutorial teacher so that we can fix that for you so that that's completely accurate. The number one question I had last week about transcripts was the difference between an AL elective and an EL elective. Basically what you need to know is that they overlap a lot. The first ones that are going to show up on your transcript are AL electives. The first 6 classes will show up as AL until this whole section is all filled. Afterwards, everything is going to show up as an EL elective. There are certain classes that only show up as EL, and those would be like extra PE classes, student aid classes, student government, stuff like that. Basically, do your best to fit your electives where you think they need to go, and don't worry too much about how they're coded on here as long as you have enough in each area once you go through. Remember that you're using this green sheet just as a reference for yourself, so if you happen to make any small errors about where you're listing your electives or any other small little thing like that, it's not going to have a huge impact on your schedule and on your graduation and everything. This is just kind of for your own reference. If you have anything like extra classes that don't fit up here, like if you took more than 2 PE classes, you're just going to do like I did here and list all the extras down here. If you have more than 3 years of math, you can either list it up here if that works better for you, or list it down here, whatever is going to make it easier for you to make your schedule to know what you need to do. So we'll get started on forecasting now. Each of you should have a sheet in front of you that looks like this. If you're a 9th grader, you're going to have this orange sheet that says 10th grade. If you're a 10th grader, you're going to have a green sheet that says 11th grade. And if you're 11th grader, you'll have this blue sheet that says 12th grade at the top. We'll quickly go through what you see on this sheet. The top box right here is all your required classes. So it's already listed on there, everything that you need to take this upcoming year. Below that, you'll see a space where you're going to be able to write in the electives or, which classes that you choose to take. You'll see the 12th graders have a lot more choices next year since there's not as many required classes. And below that section, you'll see a section titled Alternative Electives. So what you're going to do here, once we start looking at the classes you want to take, after you fill in the top 7 that you want to put in your schedule if everything works well, you're going to list some alternatives down here that you will take if these top 7 don't work out perfectly with how the classes are offered in the time of the day. So when you're listing classes down here, try to list as many as you can, at least 3 or 4 if you can, and list even more if there's a lot more choices that you're willing to take. Keep in mind that anything you list on this sheet anywhere could end up on your schedule. So please don't just go through this quickly and write classes down here that you don't really want, because they might end up in your schedule. So next year when you're looking at your new schedule, if you sign up for a class on this sheet and it's in your schedule, you're going to be stuck with that class. We're not going to make changes to your schedule because you changed your mind or you wrote something that you didn't really want on here. So take the time to look through that curriculum guide and you talk to teachers if you need to, really figure out what you want to do there. At the very bottom of the sheet, you'll see on each of these sheets is a spot to write your cell phone number and your email address. We listed that there in case something strange happens and we need to contact you sometime in the summer. If you have your number listed there clearly and your email written clearly, so we're not calling or emailing the wrong person. If we need to get in contact with you, if you have that, please add that on there. And right below that, you'll see a little space that says, please check if you are interested in pursuing your honors diploma. So with many of you, 9th and 11th grade, I've talked to those of you who had sent out letters that qualify for honors diploma. If you want to work towards that, or you already decided that you're going to do that, check this box. If you're thinking, I want more information about that, or I need to know if I can qualify or not, check the box. I'll look through all the 9th and 11th graders Mr. Rooney will be talking to 10th graders, and I believe Mr. Ojeda has talked to 10th graders in your individual meetings about honors diploma if you qualify, so you might have an idea if you qualify for that or not. So on the back of all of these sheets, you'll start off by looking at everything that's in the box on the back of your sheet. It lists all of your required classes, the classes that you have to take next year. You'll see how the required classes in here match up with what's listed on the front as required classes. So like for 10th graders, English 2 is already in your schedule. There's no choice in that. You'll have global studies for social studies. When it comes to math and science, you need to make sure that you're writing the math class that you're going to be in next year and the science class that you'll be in next year. I believe your math and science teachers have been talking to you about your different options. If you need a reminder of what you need to take next year, look at the list on the back so you'll see, for example, if you didn't finish Algebra 1, you're going to sign up for Algebra 1. If you did that this year, the next class you're going to do is Geometry. If you did Geometry, the next one would be Algebra 2. If you're already in Honors Math, you'll continue with Honors Math the second year. And that's kind of the same for the next 2 grades as well. You'll just kind of follow this sheet and keep going and add the next math class that's on your list. If you're an 11th grader going into 12th grade, you don't have a required math class, but you should really think about taking one of these your 4th year here, especially if you're going on to any type of college. That's really going to help you prepare for what you're going to do in college later on. So once you figure out your math class that you need, and also your science class that you need, and like 10th graders, if you have PE, there's some PE choices. Make sure you write them all up here. If you need to finish PE, write that down in your electives down here. After you go through all these required classes, the next thing you're going to do is look at all of the electives. So on each of these sheets, you'll see there's all the electives that you are eligible to take for each grade. And that's 12th grade right there. Next to each class, you'll see how long it is. If it says S, it's a semester long. If it says YR, it's a year long. So when you're writing those up here, if it's a semester long class, it takes up 1 space. If it's a year long, it's going to take up, both spaces for the whole year. So anything listed on the sheet you can take. You want to make sure that you have completed the prerequisites before you sign up for a class. For example, if you look in your curriculum guide, one class you might think about taking, maybe you're a 10th grader and you want to take like Auto 2. Yeah, you can look in the curriculum guide and you'll see prerequisite. That means what class you have to do before you're eligible to do this class. So you really want to do Auto 2, you look here, you see you have to take Auto 1 first. So make sure you see Auto 1 on your transcript, or make sure you're in it right now, and then you're eligible to sign up for Auto 2. If not, then you're going to have to start with Auto 1 and move forward. And the same thing goes for as far as manufacturing classes, the foods classes, the art classes. You're going to check each class and look for prerequisites. If you have any questions at all about any of the classes offered, really you can get the most answers when you're looking through your curriculum guide. You might need to double check with teachers for more specifics about a class, but anything listed on here, you can look up in the curriculum guide and get an idea of what you're going to do. For example, I opened the page to video production. You can read a quick synopsis of what you're going to do in that class. You can see how many credits you're going to get. You're going to see if you can take it in your grade or not. See the prerequisites. Like for this class, there's none, so that means you can take it. You don't have to worry about doing anything else first. If you've taken video production, you want to do the second one, look here. You got to see if you got a C or a better in video production 1, and you can double check that on your transcript to see what grade that you got. Same thing goes with every other class. Make sure you're reading through the description and decide, if that class sounds like something that would interest you or not. There's a lot of other answers you can get out of the curriculum guide as well. If you need to review the graduation requirements, you can see that on page 3. If you're working towards your honors diploma and you want to review what the requirements are and what classes count as honors classes, you can see all of those listed on page 5. So if you're working towards that, you want to make sure you sign up for some honors level classes, and those are all those classes that are listed here. If If you're a 9th grader going into 10th grade working on STEM and M, you can see all the pathways listed on page 6, so that could be very helpful for you when you're picking out classes. And if you're just looking to earn some college credits in your high school classes, you can see all of those listed on page 7, and then over on page 8, you can see which college you're getting credit from. You can see how much it cost you. The majority are free, or they have a small fee of $25, which is saving you a lot of money, so it's worth considering to taking college credits if you're in these classes. And I believe there might be a few classes that will be added to this list over the summer, but I don't think there's anything that will be taken off. So if you sign up for anything on here, you can count on having that option to get college credit for that. Remember, when you're filling out this sheet, you've gone through all your credit checks, and you might see on your credit check sheet if you have like a space that's left. Maybe you didn't pass like second semester of English 2, or maybe you haven't completed global studies and you should have already, or you failed those classes the first time. Make sure you're signing up for those now. So anything you got to F in that's required, and to know if it's required, it's basically anything that's listed up on here. You can retake that class and you can write it right in your schedule. There's a few options for that. You can retake it in person, just take the whole class again with your teacher. You can talk to your counselor about signing up for credit recovery. That's first and second period in the library with Mrs. Marcus. You work on the computer to make up credits that you hadn't finished yet. You can also sign up for night school or summer school, so that's something to talk to your counselor about if you want to get those kind of out of the way outside of school time, so you can have more space for electives. When you're doing this, please try to make sure that you're not signing up for any classes that you've already taken. The exception to that would be if you want to take PE or weights again, you can. If you want to take childcare more than once, you can. Practical applied arts, you can take more than once. And then if you're a teacher or an office aide, you can do those multiple times, but you can't do something like taking foods 1 over and over. You can't get credit for the same thing repeatedly like that. And then try to make sure that you're signing up for stuff that you have the prerequisites completed for. For example, don't sign up for advanced sculpture when you know you haven't taken sculpture. That kind of just makes everything harder for us in the counseling office with the 3 people trying to make 700 plus schedules. Just try to be as accurate as possible. If you make a mistake, we understand, but don't purposely put incorrect stuff on here because that's just kind of inconsiderate. Overall, I think the best advice I can give all of you is don't settle for the bare minimum. Just because this is what's listed is what you have to do on a sheet, especially 11th graders, I'm talking to you. You only have 2 required classes. You don't necessarily have to do math or have to do science if you're done, but don't sell yourself short and just, like I said, live up to the bare minimums. Push yourself a little further, especially if you have any intention of going to any type of college. Really what's going to benefit you the most is taking 4 years of math, taking 4 years of science, being ready for college. You don't want to take a year off and then have no idea what you're doing when you get there. Overall, just push yourself to do a little more than you think you can. Don't settle with slacking off. You're never going to regret pushing yourself further, but you'll definitely regret slacking off and not taking something that maybe you should have to be ready for college or even to be ready for your job. If you know you're not going to college and you're going into maybe working with cars or something like that, push yourself to take the higher level auto classes, or push yourself to take some business classes to learn how to work, just in a job straight out of high school. So take your time, fill this out, make sure you fill it out completely, very clearly print your name up on the top. There's a place for parent signature, but you don't really need that parent signature, so go ahead and ignore that. Make sure you're filling out all the spaces here, writing in the courses that you're going to take, write down your alternatives. If you have any questions at all, make sure you come see your counselor. If you're in 9th or 11th grade, you'll come see me, Miss Radmaker. If you're in 10th grade, you'll go see Mr. Rooney, Mr. Ojeda, and then Mrs. Canan in the counseling office can also answer a lot of questions about scheduling. So don't be afraid to come talk to any of us down there. So your transcript, if you haven't already taken it, is yours to keep. Unless there's any mistake on there, make sure you correct it and give it back to your tutorial teacher. Your credit check sheet, give that back to your tutorial teacher. You're not going to keep that. Your curriculum guide is your choice. You can take that if you want and keep it. If you know that you're just going to throw it away, go ahead and give it back to your tutorial teacher so we can save it for someone else that might need it and save a little paper. When you're all done with your scheduling sheet, make sure you give that to your tutorial teacher so that we can start looking through those and start planning classes for next year